Hi, welcome everybody to Collector Corner, a show from MinMax, a show about games, friends, getting better, all that cool stuff. We're going to be talking about video game collections today, as we do on this show, and hopefully learning a few cool things about video game history in the process. I think you guys are really going to like this one. Don't forget to subscribe to MinMax YouTube channel. New episodes of the show are going to be dropping every other Friday, and you can find all sorts of other fun content too. I am your host, Kelsey Lewin, for the show, and today I'm joined by one of the most exciting guests. This is Nicholas. He runs the website videogamekraken.com, which is like probably my favorite resource, one of the best resources on the website or on the internet for like obscure video game systems, consoles, accessories, cool stuff like that. He is a true historian and collector, and I think you're going to see a whole lot of really cool, weird stuff today. So, Nicholas, thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Cool. So behind you, I mean, from where you're sitting, you can't see how cool your collection is, but I think we're going to get there. Before we get into anything super crazy, how would you describe your game collection?
Oh, eclectic, I guess. My goal was to when I started collecting, my goal was to get everything. I thought that there would be like 75 console total and that I would be done.
Like, wait, just one of every console or one of like every video game period?
You know, one of every console.
Okay, that's a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah. And when I started collecting, I saw right away that there was a lack of resources for a complete list of video game. It's not even existing right now of a video game console, and I discovered a lot of console that I never heard about. So I kind of specialize in that. So right now I got a bunch of everything, new stuff, old stuff, but I mostly focus on rare and mostly obscure stuff. By default,
Awesome.
obscure are rare, but not always.
Well, do you want to take the camera over and start showing us some of the cool stuff? We'll probably start talking about some of the. I mean, it's tough with a collection like yours because I think almost everything in it is interesting. You know, like it's probably all stuff that people have either not heard a lot about or certainly not something they see on the shelves of their local game stores very often. So, where do you want to start us off with?
We'll start in. I don't say the Japanese room, but that's where I got most of my Japanese stuff. Well, we can start right here.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of console that were released around the same time as the Famicom or the NES. I think it was 8 total within a few months. So that was a true.
Well, I mean, there were the Famicom and the and Sega's console, the SG-1000, were released on the literal same day in Japan,
yeah.
Which I always think is kind of a fun fact there, fun start to the console wars, if you will.
Yeah, well, we'll see the rest hopefully today if we have time. But so this is one of the lamest console that were ever made. It's by Vision. It only has 6 games. It's a bit like the old Pong in the sense that you hold the console on your knee when you play it. If you want to play two player, you need to have 2 console linked together with a link cable. That's horrific. There's all the games are.
Does the link cable come with the console? Because
I've never seen the link cable.
Oh my god! Yeah, I was gonna say that feels like it's got to be the rarest accessory of all time.
Yeah, not even sure it's true. I know there's a port for it behind the console. I've read that it's supposed to be connected like that, but never seen it. And there's a 6 console. It's card games, board games, but you see from the controller type that it's not something you will have a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
Just beside it is the Casio PV1000. Which is, well, I'll just get back a little, which is a console released by Casio around the same time as the Famicom. I think it's a bit after. There's, I'm not sure, I think it's 15 games. I might be wrong, but it's probably the most beautiful console. Now, the box is broken sadly, but if you can
It
see,
is a
it's look
nice
like
looking console.
yeah, like a Genesis, but with it's even better looking than the Genesis. It's really
It
beautiful for
kind
the
of
time.
looks like a combination between a Neo Geo and a Genesis,
Yeah,
and not
you're right.
nearly as powerful as either. I do really like some of these old boxes. Like the Fairchild F does this too, where they're just the games are numbered. It's like, look, there's there's going to be like 15 games, so we can just number them.
Yeah, I think it was common at the time. Now that you're thinking about, talking about it, I think that all the other console except from the NES and the SG-1000 did that. This one has like a normal joystick, so at least it's usable, and they're pretty good games. It's there's good ports, super
Oh,
for
excellent art.
so yeah, it's a great console.
Beautiful. All right, we got
Um,
one of my favorites right under that, which is another
yeah,
Casio system for girls.
exactly. The Casio Loopy. So it's yeah, it's a console made for girls, and that prints stickers. If we can see right here, and the sticker box are just here. So basically, there is a well, that's the whole collection right here. So there's not
Is
that
that
many
every
games.
game?
Yep.
Oh
There's
wow.
two here that came in big box. It's the same game, but with the mouse.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that's actually a pretty tough one to get the whole collection of because there's a couple of them that are
yeah,
there's a couple that you see all the time, like bundled with every loopy, and
yeah.
then there's a couple that are really, really hard to find.
This one is the hardest to find. I think it took me 5 years just to see that copy.
Wow.
Um, and none of them are fun. So
Do you
oh,
speak Japanese? I mean, I imagine it's a lot less fun if you don't read it very well.
yeah, absolutely. I took a few lessons, but no, I would
Okay.
I won't even try. Uh, the interesting thing with that console is the magical shop, which kind of we can say a game, but it's an add-on that you put on top, and then you could connect any VCR or digital camera at the time to use this the to print stickers. So basically, you could play a VHS, press pause, and then print a sticker out of it.
Which is still a pretty cool. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like that would still be a thing people would like is to just print little stickers of whatever YouTube video they're watching or something. I
So
love that.
my plan, my evil plan at some point is to connect the we might see it later on, but the Product 21, which is like an high-end karaoke version of the Satsum, connect it to the Atari C200, if I'm not mistaken, which is like the it's a device that Atari made that convert sound into graphic, so you can see it on the TV. It's like a visualizer that we have from Winamp, and then print it from the Casio LP. So that would be my
That
ultimate
is
machination.
yeah, that is some obscure wrapped in obscure right there.
Yeah. If we continue to go down, that's an interesting. It's just the shell, though. I'm not sure if we can see it.
Oh, is that the dental unit
Yeah, exactly.
Atari Jaguar
Yeah, but it's
thingamajig?
just the shell.
Yeah.
But I
So
do
if
plan. You see the
sorry, go ahead.
Jaguar just
Oh,
beside
I
it.
see the Jaguar there, yeah.
I plan to replace the shell with this one. I don't have the actual unit yet, but I'm still working on that.
Yeah, so for people who aren't familiar, the Atari Jaguar, the like form of it, the shape of it was repurposed later in dental equipment. So there are perfectly Atari Jaguar shaped dental equipment things out there, which is just a real weird little footnote in video game history.
Okay, so that's not that interesting. That's just can we see it?
Yeah.
It's a CD-i, but it's the Mana Space one. So it's the one was only released in Japan. They were only used for a travel agency in Japan. There were 500 or 600 of those. Um,
Wow.
it's pretty boring, but it's fine.
A bunch of
PCFX.
PCFX
Yeah.
stuff.
So PCFX, what's interesting with it? I love the shape of the box for the CD though. Those are really sturdy box, a bit like the Genesis, but a bit bigger. So what they did is the PCFX. One of the downfall from the PCFX is that they don't process 3D graphic. Everything was pre-rendered, but they did like a PCFX GA, which is a card that you put in your PC that allow you to play, and then you got the cat.
Oh, hi, kitty.
That allow you to play. I just need to hold the cat with the other hand. Allow you to play PCFX game on the computer, but this one, it does support 3D graphics, so there's a 3D accelerator on that. So there's demo and everything. I just don't know what they never put it on the actual PCFX, because it's not a bad system. It's a good system. It just it was, you know. So I'll go up because you.
I mean, the visitor's fun. Also, I mean, I know we're gonna miss some stuff in this collection.
Oh, yeah,
so
sure.
there's totally some stuff you can skip over if you want. But I am curious about this pink section you got going on over here.
The pinks. I'm trying to organize by color at some point, so I try to start. The interesting stuff here is the super cassette vision, but it's the super lady cassette vision. So cassette vision, where is it? It's right here. You can see in the back. That's the full set. So there's about 30 games, but they did. I think their cassette vision was released in '84, and in '85 they released what I think it's the first collector edition when it's come to a console. And it's the same thing, but obviously in pink, made for girl, and it came with one of the most boring game of the system. It's like an horoscope games. Try to find it, but anyway, not that interesting. But yeah, it's
that is cool for just early, like, limited edition of a console. I mean, I've got the this is a console that takes cartridges, or like cassette kind of things, but there's like one of Nintendo's early Pong machines that's got like that ramen sponsorship.
Oh yeah.
And I always like to say, like, that's the first special edition of a video game console, but it only plays the games programmed onto it. It doesn't have its own it's not really like a console you buy games for, so that's really cool.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. It's not the first. It would be the first for cartridge base. Even that, not really true, because the Astro. Oh my god, I got the blank. It will come back.
Astrocade?
Astrocade, yeah. The Astrocade, there's a white version that was only available at Ward, which I got in the other room. But anyway, this one came in
we'll get to that too.
Pink suitcase. It's really cool.
I love
that. We already saw the Super Cassette Vision, so it was one of the competitor for the Famicom. Another one is this monstrosity, which is the Gakin Compact TV Boy. It does look like it will not be fun to play, but it's actually very comfortable. So you hold that handle, and this one. It's just really to hold the console, and there's a button, and this one is the up, down, left, right, and you can twist, and it's actually cool. Pretty fun. I mean,
yeah, there was a time before controllers were like standardized, and people were still trying weird configurations. They're like, I don't know, and I love that stuff.
Exactly, and there's a bunch of this pre-Famicom, and even those were rated around the same time. So, but this one is actually not that bad. If we go a bit downward, that's the Cassette Vision. So it's a precursor to the Super Cassette Vision that we just saw. There's two versions. That's the Cassette Vision, and that's the Cassette Vision Junior. I don't know if we can see, but there's basically on this one, if I move cartridge, you can see there is I'm sorry for the light. The lighting is really awful here. Those are knobs, and this is how you control your up, down, left, right. So it's really just with knobs. So this one is really awful to play. The junior version is a bit more fun. It's at least it's button, and then you got kind of a lever on the other side. But it basically play a lot better. But it's only one player. The other one is two, and it removed the ability to use that beautiful piece of hardware, which is the gun. But it only
you
works
can't use
with
the
one
gun
game.
on the junior. Man, that is a realistic looking gun there.
Yeah, not something that we can have anymore.
No.
Okay. You spoke a bit about the SG-1000, so that the closest that we got in North America. So that's the Telegames personal arcade, arcade Dina 2-in-1. So basically, it plays both ColecoVision and SG-1000 cartridge, because it's basically the same thing. It's the same hardware. I think
Right.
one has a bias and the other one don't. That's pretty much the only difference. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that will say, no, there's other difference, and that will correct me on the chat. But as far as I know, that's the only difference. But the problem is that we never had any cartridges for the SG-1000 imported in North America. So that was just a glorified ColecoVision at this point.
Yeah. Unless you're importing a bunch of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a Neo Geo, but it's nothing nobody have seen before. I'll just remove that. That doesn't go there.
Okay, I don't know what this is.
Okay, this is the Super 8-man.
Okay. I've never seen a box for that. Wow.
So
that's cool.
Taiwanese video game console. So I should have pulled it out, but it's basically it's really look like a Super NES, but fully black. It's a pretty console. I think there's 8 games that was released for it. I got 4. This one is pretty much a clone of Zelda, A Link to the Past.
Oh wow!
But it's all in Taiwanese, so in Chinese. So basically, I'm not able to play it.
not a super easy one to play, I'm sure.
And the console is pretty. It's more easy than the game to find, but it's pretty hard to find. Obviously, it didn't catch on, and at the time, the story goes that they destroyed most of the console to get the chip back. Not sure if it's true, but a few years ago they found like a container full of those consoles, so they were, I would say, fairly cheap. This is where I got this one, but once they got sold, the price I skyrocketed once again. Yeah. So I'm really happy to have caught this one at the right time.
Oh my gosh, you have a car, Marty.
Yeah, it's a bit sun faded. I don't know if you can see.
I mean, just color. Having one of these. So this is a weird system for people. So this is a car version of the Towns Marty, which is it is Japan exclusive, right? I can't remember if it came out in other areas of Asia, but essentially like a computer console. Like it's more computer than console. Is that accurate to say? Like,
yeah, I think it's the consoleized version of the Famicom computer.
Yeah,
and that's the consoleized car version of the consoleized version. I don't know if I got it here. If I can remove it. So it comes with like a PCMCIe card, and it's a GPS.
It's a GPS.
That's the only feature that they added. Basically, it's they included the GPS. It read all the other all the games for from the FM town, and it's a good console. There's a full kit with screen that you could put in the back seat and everything. I just have the unit, but and there's a controller in there. But that's it. But there's a full kit that is even harder to get. This one is pretty amazing. I'm really amazed that it was not something that people throw themselves at when it was released. It's can I remove it?
I know this is hard to do with a phone in your hand.
Yeah, I got it.
I should warn people ahead of this show that that's gonna be an issue.
So that's the Capcom CPS changer. Sorry, it's the Unit 28. So they announced that they will make 1,000 of those, and they only released about 600. We never saw in the world of collecting like a unit with a serial number higher than 650 or something like that. So we imagine that it never. So it's basically just a JAMA connector that you plug into. Those are actual arcade board from Capcom, but they just slightly modified them so they would not connect to any arcade and vice versa. So you cannot connect this without modification to an arcade board. So it was the response to the Neo Geo, but I think 4 years later. So this is why probably it never got, and it was fairly expensive. I think there's like
I mean it's very similar to buying an actual arcade unit. It's just it's basically like the insides of an arcade, but you can change out the boards and stuff, right? So I mean you're spending arcade money, and you're just not having the cabinet. Essentially, it's a pretty ambitious concept. Like there's not a lot. I don't think there's a lot of demand for that.
No,
or at least there's
obviously
not a lot of like money to be spent out there on that.
And I think it was more of a fan service that they did. I mean, they knew that they would not sell a lot if they just announced 1,000. But anyway, it's a great piece. That's not really a console. It's can I open it? So it's basically just a Dreamcast inside a shell with create a JAMA connector inside of it. So basically that allowed to insert your Dreamcast into an arcade and play Dreamcast game as an arcade. So basically what it does is there's a lot of games that came pre-programmed in there in the sense that they can detect the game over screen and then did a credit and stuff like that. So it's a pretty neat machine, but not a console per se.
Where do you find a lot of this stuff? Is a lot of this stuff just like Yahoo auctions, getting from Japan, or?
Yahoo auction, Mercury, lots of a bit of trade with other collector. But most of it, and that's the beauty and the risk of when you're collecting obscure stuff, it's not a lot of people are looking for it. So often, and we'll see it in just a minute, there's like treasure that you can find and nobody were even bidding on it. But at the same time, they're so rare that if you're 2 or 3 people that wants it, the price can skyrocket really quickly.
Oh yeah. I mean, as you can imagine, I've run into that myself when I was, especially as I was getting towards the end of my WonderSwan collection. And there's, a couple games out there where one only pops up every 3 years, but who else is looking for it? And you get in a bidding war with that one other person who needs it, and it go.
Yeah, and you were the other person most of the time.
Yeah, I'm sure we've battled on the fields of Yahoo auctions a couple times.
Yeah, I remember sleeping over the Bayonetta now for the Mamamite, and say, well, that expensive, but and then when I decided to go back, it was sold, and a few hours later, you posted on Twitter and say, damn.
Well, yeah, I think I hesitated for about 15 minutes, and then I was like, no, I'm never going to see this again. So.
Speaking of consoleized computer, this is the Puya Junior. So it's basically the Tommy Junior that we got in North America. So it's a 16-bit computer. In Japan, it's called Puya, and they did consoleized version that they called it Puya Junior, which is this. Got the full set. There's a few missing because they're still in boxes, but there's 26 or 27 game total, plus the data recorder interface, because there's a built-in program to draw stuff that came with the computer. It's still there, but there's nowhere to save the stuff, so that allow you to connect to a tape cassette and obviously record your beautiful drawing. Okay, can we see it?
I see a Zebo controller.
Oh yeah, there's the
Zebo.
And
a Zebo.
The Zebo, the Dragon controller, and the Boomerang controller, which is like the worst controller ever. Where's up?
Yeah,
we don't.
It's here. Yeah, good point. Which way is up?
They put a little arrow here, so it's here, but I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's the Viscom Com 100. It's basically an RCA Studio 2. So that the console that was released in North America in 76. This one was released in 78, if I'm not mistaken, or pretty sure it's that. It's the same thing, but in car. So Japan did their own thing. They took the license and they modified it a bit. So it's a bit different. Only 6 games that were released for it. I think I got an unboxed version somewhere here, but we'll see. Okay, this is boring to look at. I'll try to open it just real quick. But this is one of the things that I was the only person bidding, and there's actually a funny story around that. So,
I think I know what this is. Oh, yep, I remember. I remember you posting about this.
Yeah. It's just lost an air button. It's like.
All right, so explain what this is, because this is very strange.
So, Exotic Sport. You can see the console here. It's a console that was released in Japan and North America. It's basically a Wii, but they specialize in sports. So I got a bunch of game over there. So there's baseball, fishing, boxing, all that came with those big accessories. But in Japan, what they did is they also created that medical device, or they use it in the research. So basically, there is 3 cartridge. It's called the I want to say the Anatomy Club, if I'm not mistaken. And what it does is there's 20 controller with those buttons, which called.
Can you point the camera down a little bit more?
Sorry.
So we can. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
So there is like 20 controller like this, and basically it's a brain stimulation exercise. So there's 3 cartridges full of games that you would they would use in like a center for people with brain disease to stimulate the frontal cortex. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's pretty unique. Not a lot of those exist. I just knew from my research that those were made. I had like a running search in Yahoo Auction, and one day they popped up. And the funny story about that is that I use I think it was from Japan to do my bid, and a few minutes before the automatic bid was supposed to came on, it just popped up an error. So I've gone to Bai to make the bid.
Oh.
And then I was caught bidding against myself because I didn't know on which. I had an error on Bai as well. So I bid 2 times against myself to make sure that I was the one getting the high price. So anyway, that's the infamous Pladia. You have a video about it, so that's the same version. But this is the cool version.
Oh wow! So Pladia is a it's the other console band I did, but it's more it's for younger kids for the most part. I mean, a lot of like Anpanman and Sailor Moon and Ultraman and that sort of thing. I mean, and it's a lot of very like simple, the gameplay is like press a button and then Goku will do a Kamehameha and it'll advance the story or whatever. Like it's very simple. But that BAX version you have there, that's like for basically arcade machine-esque versions of these, like kiosk kind of things, right?
No, it's basically the same thing as the Ultra 64. It's the name that it had before changing for Playdia.
Right.
So
right.
so the code name was BAX, and they were shown at the Tokyo Game Expo, I think in I want to say 96, and yeah, 96. And so, and a few weeks after they released the Playdia, so they changed the name just after. So apparently, there's just a few units that were made with that name.
Oh, I didn't know they actually sold them separately. I thought those were just the ones they repurposed to like put in kiosks and stuff. So they're like, we changed the name, and but that's cool. I didn't know they had. So does that have a box then too?
No, it doesn't have a box. I guess it's either one of those that were shown at the Tokyo Game Show, or maybe they had an extra one. But it's pretty much the same
really
thing.
Cool.
It's just the controller has different color of button and the name is different. But anyway, it's kind of stuff that I love. The Super Vision 8000 is also a Japanese exclusive. I think this one is 79. Only, I want to say 8 games that were released for it. I only have a few.
So real quick, I just want to do a time check because technically we are probably supposed to only do this for another like 10 or 15 minutes. And I know we've gotten to essentially like 1.5 shelves. So we might have to start or just, like again, the problem is everything's cool here, but maybe start being a little more selective of the stuff that you want to absolutely make sure we want to see.
Okay. Let's
I know there's not enough time in this show for to give it like what it really needs.
Okay. This is just trying not to drop it. So this is a Chinese console, Sega Genesis console, but for hotel. So but there's no game in it, so it does connect to a central server. Never was able to make it work, but it's the only one that I've seen. So anyway, it's cool. I got a bunch of hotel unit. That's probably the thing I love the most collect. I got already seen that pretty much everywhere. But Super Famicom box.
I mean, you say you see it everywhere, but no, you really don't. These are incredibly rare.
Yeah, the Famicom Super Famicom box is a bit more common. So I mean, if you go to eBay and type Super Famicom box, you can get one.
Sure, they're okay. They're expensive. We'll put it that way.
They're expensive.
They're findable, but they're expensive.
Yeah, the Famicom box is the same thing, but obviously for the Famicom, the interesting stuff is they use like North American cartridge in it as a shape at least.
With the weird yellow labels, right?
Yeah. So there's, I'm not sure if we can see it, but like there's 10 inside of it.
Yeah.
That's like a Pong machine in Japan that was in bar. That's
cool. It's coin operated, yeah.
Yeah. So very quickly, this one is cool. So that's the actual Super Nintendo that were in plane back in the day.
Wow.
So there were.
How did you get this?
This one was on eBay.
Really? Wow.
And really happy to find this one. The card was on eBay. The rest I got from a local airplane part. I didn't know that exists, but I was able to get the rest.
Yeah, I didn't know there were people that sold airplane parts. That's
so for your console.
That's news
daily you need of airplane part. That's the dev kit for the GameCube.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Yeah. Okay. So for those who don't know, it's basically just the modem equivalent on the Famicom. They made a version that is just the modem and the cards. So
Yeah.
you could use it
So-
to contact your bank, bet on horse race, and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
it's a super fun add-on for the Famicom in Japan. I don't think a ton of people even know that there was a modem for that, because it's not like you could use it to play any video games.
Yeah,
but there was a modem, and you've got one
Yeah,
separately. there you go.
modem is there.
And you could attach it to your Famicom, and you could do things like check on your stocks and access your bank and bet on horses. And then that was so popular that in case you wanted to have that just by itself and not even have the ability to play video games,
Yeah, exactly.
you could buy this data ship right here.
For the people who doesn't like to have fun, you got the data ship. Really quickly, I think all the commercial version of the GameCube. I won't name them all, but they're here. I'll just go very quickly. And a few. So in Japan, what they did, that's cool. They have like those that jewel that you could cut from Nintendo directly. Well, there's a. I don't have them all, but
do you have, I was gonna say, do you have the Animal Crossing one? That's the only one I want.
Nah, I've seen it though, but it was out of my price range for that specific.
For a little jewel, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. More GameCube stuff. The infamous Jaguar.
So this is cool. This is well, I saw you have the other Game Boy sewing machine as well, right? So there were two, believe it or not, two sewing machines for the Game Boy. And this one right here that he's pointing at is the more rare one. This is the embroidery machine that only came out in Japan. So it's a very, very fancy piece of equipment that you use your Game Boy with.
The embroidery is right here.
And there's the extendable arm for the embroidery part of it.
Very quickly.
See, when I say that we have similar collections, I mean, you have much more cool stuff than I do, but there's definitely some overlap.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not ready to say that you got a lot of cool stuff. I'll try to find stuff that you didn't talk about. This one's cool. So we're talking about the usage of Game Boy as a screen for order.
Oh yeah.
So this one is for diagnosticating motor for.
Is like Aprilia bikes or something,
exactly,
like motorbikes, right?
There's another one for Suzuki, and but no, it's cool.
Yeah, there's a really cool, little moment in time where small computers were still just a little too expensive, and a handful of people all had the same idea where they're like, well, what if we just use a Game Boy as the computer instead? And you end up with some weird stuff that way. You have a ton of cool collector's editions. Oh, that's okay. All right. I actually know what this one is. This is the inside of a Starlight, like Wii kiosk. This is what they would give to kids in in hospitals and stuff. Kids who were, had to stay in a hospital for some period of time. There's this foundation that Nintendo helps run called Starlight. And the Wii inside, I've taken one of these apart, which is the only reason why I recognize that little squirrel on there.
That's the only occurrence.
Its own. What's that?
It's the only occurrence where they ever use that logo. It's the little squirrel. It's on that board.
Yeah, so it's the inside of a Wii that's used in hospitals, and it's got a squirrel on the board, and it has its own unique BIOS. It's kind of like I don't know, almost like a Netflix looking thing where you can just kind of scroll through games. It looks nothing like the Wii menu. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, I'll just turn off my gun. I'll hold it like this. So it might be a bit more shaky. Turn on its own.
All right, I don't know what this World of Warcraft thing is.
This is a server blade that they use to run World of Warcraft directly on. So they sold those to charity 2 times. This was for Senju charity. I don't remember the date exactly, but it's really cool piece. Whatever you're a World of Warcraft fan or not, I'm a geek. I love computers, so I had to add that.
That is so cool.
Really quickly, so that's everything related to the core graph, PC Engine, TurboGrafx. That's the European version, the PAL version.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen that box.
The infamous virtual caution, because why not? That's one of the. There's not a lot of clone for the TurboGrafx 16. This is one of them, and they have their own card form, which is I found really interesting.
Oh wow!
So the Pippin. So that's the. It's not the normal pivot box. That's the box that they were using for developer in North America. So the black box is pretty
interesting.
Cool.
Okay.
So I just realized it's just a bunch of boxes. I should have taken out the concept a bit
more.
No,
I mean, you can see what's in the boxes by looking.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
At the
the Hotel Multivision. So that's the SG-1000. They did a version that there were. Can you see it? Yeah, it's Tsukuda. Tsukuda. Yeah, Tsukuda. So they outsourced basically the right to create an SG-1000. They created two versions. It's called the Hotel Multivision. It came with Othello as a built-in game. The telecom pack, so when you want to play your SG-1000 from a distance.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does not work very well, but
no, I'm sure it doesn't. That's the Master System version that they re-released in Japan. Obviously, it was the Mark III in Japan, but they re-released the Master version, which a big improvement for. As far as I am concerned, they removed the reset button and replaced it with a turbo button.
And I noticed the wires are coming out of the correct place on those controllers too. The version of the Master System that they got in Japan, which, as you mentioned, is called the Mark III. The wires come out of the side of the controller, and it's very awkward to hold.
Yeah, and for those who had the Master System when they were young, the placement of the pause button just beside the reset button, it was obviously causing a lot of people losing their games. So very quickly, no, that's not what I want to show. I'm stressed out now.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know there's too much stuff to show.
Prologue 21, that's the Saturn version of Karaoke Machine that Sega did. So basically, they just wanted to have a karaoke machine. They already had the Saturn as a base, but they decided to include a Saturn drive in there. The most amazing sound that you will ever get from a Saturn, obviously, because it's on a karaoke machine.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, this TV is awesome.
Yeah, thanks. It's I'll just go really quickly. So that's Qualcomm computer. It connected to, I don't know if you know this one, the RDR.
Oh my gosh.
It's not the full one though. I just have the LaserDisc part and the games. I'm missing the computer that goes on top of it. But I replaced it with the Qualcomm, which also connect to the RDI. And there's a bunch of the games that it's an MSX computer, but there's a bunch of games where there's a MSX games embedded into the LaserDisc. You read it, and then they use the remaining part of the disc for obviously either background image or a game like Space Ace and Dragon Lair. So it's really cool. Other unit from Japan. This one is for Famicom, and it's a game selector with 6 games. This one is like homemade. I'm sure of it. It's a company that does that in Japan. It's mostly hotel stuff with embedded VHS. This one is a Super Famicom. There's a 5-game selector. This thing it weighs a ton. It's so huge. And APF 1000. Now we're getting out of Japan. That's console that was released in North America. I think it's 76. No, maybe later. But they did the computer. That's the first computer add-on that was ever made for a console, and then we can go and I got a full room of other stuff, but
okay, all right, we'll do it really
we'll do
quick, and I'll try to. Okay, yeah, we probably will do a part 2. Normally I ask things to people like, what's the rarest thing in your collection, etc. There's my section right there. But I mean, you have so much in your collection where it's just like there is no rarest. It's like so many of these things it pops up once, maybe every 5 years, and you're the one who got it. So I mean, how can you possibly quantify that? I mean, at this point, what are you still looking for your collection? Do you have a list?
Yes, and I won't be telling because
I'll fight you for it.
Yeah, exactly. No, but there's a bunch of stuff that there are no only rumored to exist. While I'm doing my research, I found that might exist, and for one of them, I did find the games, but I didn't find the system yet. But there is like no picture, no mention of that console anywhere. But there's a bunch of stuff, more common stuff. Well, common that I don't have, like the XIs. I don't have it. I don't have a Sega CD yet. I mean, you need to prioritize at some point.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you get the stuff that you're never going to see again before you get the stuff that you absolutely will see again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna end with one final question. Actually, hold on. I just saw something silly, which is the computer bass thing up there. I think people might find that the Bassmate computer. People might find this interesting. This is a Nintendo product.
Exactly.
This is a like R&D1 Gunpei Yokoi Nintendo product around the Game & Watch time. It was basically just like, hey, we could. I think it was an American company, right? That reached out and was like, we could use this technology to make a cool sporting, fishing assistant for people. And they were like, yeah, sure. So official Nintendo product that from the early 80s that I think people might find kind of interesting because it's very not Nintendo,
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Everything here is cool.
Thank you.
I will end with one question that could be a fun one. What is one of the best deals you have gotten on this stuff? Do you have any fun stories about getting any of this?
Best deal. That's a tough question. I truly don't know.
Okay.
I've been collecting for so long.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure there's plenty of it. I mean, there's tons that I pay really cheap. I think the most interesting story is the one I already told for the Xavix mobile, where I outbid myself a few times. But I'll come back to you. I'll think about it and I'll get back to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for showing this incredible collection to us. This is I don't know. I think it's probably the most interesting collection we will ever have on Collector Corner, and if there's interest, we will do a part 2 on it because it's very cool, and I know we didn't get to nearly all of it.
Well, thank you for having me, and next time I'll try to have better lighting and have the console out and ready.
Oh, I think you did great, and I think the cat was a perfect addition too. So, all right. Well, thank you, Nicholas. And if people are interested in any of this stuff, I highly recommend going to videogamekraken.com. You have made incredible write-ups on a lot of this stuff, and it's a really cool resource for this. So, thank you for joining me, and we're gonna now have a MinMax Patreon guest on. So, thanks, Nicholas. All right. Hi, everybody. We are joined by Ben, a MinMax Patreon supporter. MinMax and Collector's Corner is made possible through our awesome supporters on Patreon. If you would like to have a chance to share your collection on the show, you can join the Patreon at any level. Leave a comment. That is at patreon.com/MinMax with 2 N's. Anyways, hi, we've got Ben here, and this collection behind you looks awesome already.
Thank you. I've kind of built a little bit of a predetermined way of going through this,
Oh,
but I
I
figure
love
I'll
that.
just kind of go around the room once we get started.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So when you left a comment about your collection, I know you kind of highlighted that you do a lot of horror game stuff. So you have big collections for like Silent Hill and Resident Evil and that sort of thing. Is that where we want to start, is with the cool horror stuff?
Oh, sure. We can do that. Let me flip this around here. So I mainly took out all my big budget horror stuff here from my collection.
The spendy titles here. I see a Rule of Rose. I see a Haunting Ground.
Yeah, we have a few games missing. Like I'm missing like Kuon and stuff like that. A lot of the like big rare horror games like that. But I have
you
most
got like
of the
a
big budget
$700 game sitting right there. You got some good stuff there.
Yeah, and I have this table too, full of a little less crazy horror stuff, but like still high budget. Like this is like a $150 game for some reason, even though it's the worst.
Is it really?
Resident Evil game? Yeah, because this is a Japan import only. Even though it says Resident Evil on it, it's Japan only release, physically at least.
Interesting.
Yeah, just a ton
I don't
of
know
horror
if a lot
stuff.
of people have seen that red Resident Evil 4, that GameStop exclusive tin. That one's kind of a cool one.
This was
a pre-order bonus, or was that a?
I think
it
was
its
you
own
had the
special
option
edition
when you pre-ordered it that you could spend like an extra $15 or $20 for it, but now it's like $150 to get something like this.
It's cool.
Everything in the horror like genre has jumped up so much on resale markets now that if you don't have it now, unless you want to spend $1,000, you're never going to get a lot of the stuff you want now.
Yeah,
so I was lucky.
It's one of those things. It is one of those things. Horror, survival horror, JRPGs to some extent, and then like shoot 'em ups are like, I feel like the three kind of genres of game where you might as well just buy them brand new because they're probably going to go up in price.
Yeah, I have and I have some weird stuff like the Game.com Resident Evil 2 new inbox. My friend got this for
Resident
me
Evil
for like
2. Wow.
he got it for my birthday for like $10 on eBay. Now it's like $100+.
Do you have a Gamecom to play it on?
Oh no, that's why it'll forever remain sealed in this box.
I mean, yeah, that's probably.
I mean, if you look at the game itself, it's I don't know if you can see, it's pretty primitive, I would say, even compared to the original Resident Evil 2. But cool in the collection nonetheless.
Totally. So what got you into? I mean, I assume you're interested in survival horror games, but what made you decide to focus on this for your collection?
Well, my neighbor, when I was growing up, introduced me to, I don't know if I have it out, Resident Evil Remake way back in the day. And he didn't have a memory card, so we would try to get as far as we could every time we played. But it was like too scary for us, so we'd always die like 20 minutes in. But then
what
he
is
got
it
Resident
with
Evil
people
4.
not having memory cards? I feel like that's a story I hear all the time about kids. They're like, I didn't have a memory card, so I just tried to play. I'm like, who's... Why did no one have memory cards?
But I mean, even without a memory card, he introduced me to, after that, Resident Evil 4, which totally changed my whole gaming like life. Because that's my favorite game of all time, which I know isn't a very interesting pick as a favorite game of all time.
Okay, but which version?
Probably Xbox 360, honestly. Because that's when they introduced leaderboards and stuff like that. And it's still like somewhat competitive because now on the newer ones, everyone just hacks them like crazy. So nothing's like actually legit anymore. But that one is still legit to a point. But I have every single version of Resident Evil 4 and then some imports, but I'll play them all. And then when they re-release it on PS5, even with the remake, I'll play it 1,000 more times. But
yeah, you're not the only one.
I have a full Silent Hill collection over here. I mean, I have other ones over on the shelf, but these are like the main ones. I have like all the greatest hits versions and stuff like that. But yeah, it sucks for anyone who wants to get into this because it's like Silent Hill 3 is $150 now. So it's like if you want to play that, you have to emulate it or you're out of luck, which sucks. But
yeah, it's definitely not an easy one to start the collection with. for sure. So you do like greatest hits versions of these two. You do kind of like every version of the game that was released. Is that a goal of yours?
For Silent Hill, yeah, because it's not like the craziest like series to collect for. Like I have Silent Hill 2 greatest hits there. Down on Xbox, I have like platinum hits and stuff like that. But for that,
Isn't there something with Silent Hill 2, the greatest hits version that like
Yes.
So normally a greatest hits version of a game has no differences whatsoever. It's just a little red stripe on the cover, but it doesn't this one actually changes something, right?
Yeah, it comes with the Born from a Wish side story that's normally only on the Xbox version, but the greatest hits includes that. But I think the greatest hits version, they messed up the fog as well. So it's like give and take what you want from the game. But I would always play the PS2 version forever because even though I have the HD remake, it's very bad, sadly.
Yes. Yeah,
as
infamously
is commonly
bad.
known. But yeah, I don't know if there's here's Silent Hill Dead by Daylight that was a Japan only physical release. So it's the only PS4 game that has Silent Hill on the cover, for example.
Oh, that's interesting.
I had to import.
Yeah.
But,
I guess that's true. I didn't think about that. Is your 3DS copy of Resident Evil, does it say Revelatians or Latins or whatever the typo is? Yes, there you go. Revelatons. Everyone's favorite Resident Evil.
When I found that out, I was like, I have to seek out the first edition because I want the typo in my collection.
Typos are fun. I love it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else cool. I mean, I have the Fatal Frame trilogy, which I got at GameStop for $20 a piece in one go. Now these are like 100 plus each, which is just insane. Same with Eternal Darkness.
Did you start buying these before the? I mean, how long have you been putting this collection together?
Well, basically my whole life. But I would say when I really started, I would say probably like 2012 is when I really started collecting. Okay. So like I got Rule of Rose.
That's about when I started. Wow. That was a smart one to pick up early.
I got it on eBay and it was like a last second snipe and I'm like, $80, that's a lot for this game.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I spent $80 on a game until probably like 2015 or something like that. And even that was like, woof. I can't believe I
paid more for Haunting Ground. I think I paid like $100 for Haunting Ground. No, that's like $400 or something like that. Yeah, it's insane.
Still a very good deal.
I'm capped out now on buying games like this because now it's like I want Kuon. That's like $900 and stuff like that. So I think my super rare collecting is about at an end, unfortunately, due to $1,000 per game. But yeah, that's the majority. I won't go through every single game here, obviously, but with the 360 games, obviously, as any collector knows, that they're not worth very much, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's the biggest part of my collection. So out of all my horror games, I only have 2 360 games that matter. Saw 2, for some reason, is like $60, $70 still, which blows my mind because it's insanely bad. Like, horrible game. But
I was always curious, like why that one. I assumed that maybe it was like actually pretty good, and it was just this weird like happened to be good kind of thing. But no, it's bad and expensive.
Saw 1 is better, and that's bad. So this is like unbelievable. But and then this.
Although a lot of people would say that about Rule of Rose too. Don't tell anyone I said that, but.
I unfortunately agree that Rule of Rose is a horrible game to play. The story's awesome, super interesting concept, but playing it is just I can't do it. I will never beat that game, unfortunately. This game is really rare too for some reason. Like Fear 3 is weirdly rare, but Fear Files on the 360 is like an $80 game. No idea why. Weird. I got it for $3 from GameStop 10 years ago, but whatever. I guess it's rare now. But
so do you have a big Xbox 360 collection in general? Is that like a...
I do.
Are you going for a full set or anything? Or is it just something you enjoy collecting?
It was what I grew up on. So like, while I was mainly, like, unfortunately, I was a Call of Duty kid for like 7 years straight where I played Call of Duty every single day, basically.
Those are cool.
Yeah, and it continues on down here to the Xbox One, and then it keeps going here, even Modern Warfare 2 Steelbook. But yeah, I grew up on 360 when Halo 3 came out. That totally changed my life. And then I never looked back. But unfortunately now I'm like, I wish I would have like grown up with Nintendo or something, because that's so much more rare now. Because like all these games, it's like, wow, Assassin's Creed 2, $2.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, the nice thing about the Xbox 360, and I mean, I genuinely encourage people to collect for it if they're if game collecting is something they're like just kind of getting into. Is like, just because other people haven't started assigning a high numeric value to it doesn't mean it's not cool or good or interesting. And it's the best time to collect stuff like that. Like, the best time to collect for a system is when other people are not doing it, and so it's dirt cheap. I'm not gonna try to predict and tell you that Xbox 360 games will someday be worth a ton of money. They might not. I mean, certainly, yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 is never going to be worth a lot of money, but like, in general, if you want to kind of get a beefy and usable collection, like a collection of games that are actually good and fun to play, and pick it up on a budget. I mean, the Xbox 360 is probably like the ripest system for that right now. Like, that's probably a really, really good place to get in on the ground floor. And those couple of games that you mentioned that are, $60, $80 right now, I mean, again, there was a time where Rule of Rose was an $80 game. So like, it's better to get the games when they're 80 than when they are 800.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love my 360 collection. And what's great about is having a Series X, I can play most of these like natively on my Series X, which is awesome. So my 360 collection is my favorite, even though it's not the most financially valuable. I love my whole collection here. But trying to think if there's anything else interesting on here. I have all my like more like interesting statues up here. I know it looks like I love BioShock Infinite and Metal Gear Solid 5, but yeah, this was the collector's edition, Songbird edition.
That is
of,
a really
BioShock
cool statue.
Infinite. Yeah, for a collector's edition.
Are these all from collector's
statue.
Editions?
Not all of them. The last couple are not. This is from, or this one's not. This you had to go to like a Rational Games website to buy back before BioShock Infinite came out. That's Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I don't like Catalyst, but I love the first game, so I keep that out in remembrance.
And that's the one that has the merch, yeah.
And then Nathan Drake, but these two are from Gecko, which is a Japanese statue company. That Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5, and then Big Boss. And if you bought both, you get the little Diamond Dog figurine, which is like its own thing. And then the, what is that called? Skyhook from BioShock Infinite.
Cool.
So I've tried to like narrow it down. I have a ton of statues that like aren't on display down here, but this is like kind of my cooler stuff because I tried to like curate it a little bit.
It's
but
tough
going
because
over here,
there's so many collector's editions. Oh, nice. Fridge collection.
This is the best collector's edition item I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's from Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And it lights up here, obviously, and when you open it, makes noises.
Wow.
This is like $600.
Call of Duty has... Really?
Yes.
Call of Duty has had some weird collector's editions. There was one that came with like an RC car or like an RC drone or something like that. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I have both of those. That's Black Ops 1.
Oh, there's two. Okay.
Yeah. Black Ops 1 came with a RC car, and then Black Ops 2 came with a drone, like a little helicopter thing. You can fly around.
So
and
I was right about
nothing
both.
Tops that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool that's a pretty cool goodie for a collector's edition. And there are just so many now that to your point about statues, there's so many now that come with statues, but they're not always great.
No. I have a Max Payne 3 one that's like embarrassingly bad. When I got it, I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe.
Well, is that open? You can't you can't joke about it and then not show us.
It's not even in this house.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, you
It's
can
that
look it up.
embarrassing.
It's horrible. Like I opened it and I'm like, I don't even want to look at this anymore since I bought this thing. Down here, I have all my video game soundtracks. A lot of which
cool.
are from a company called Laced. So I have the entire Resident Evil vinyl collection, which is 0 through Village. And it's missing a few like Dead Aim and Survivor and a lot of like the weird ones, but it has like Code Veronica and stuff like that. Like Bloodborne, Death Stranding, Gears of War. My favorites are the Silent Hill ones here. And a lot of these they have like custom art for.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You might not know the answer to this question, but I've been curious because video game vinyl has been becoming a bigger and bigger thing. Some of this is not licensed, right? Like some of this is just people pressing video game vinyl and it's more like a fan production, right?
I've seen those. Like one that I saw that was really cool was all the Resident Evil save themes put on one vinyl, and I'm like, that's really cool, but it was like a fan thing. These are all official from
these are all officially
licensed from the companies.
So
that's getting bigger. Like
surprising.
Mondo and Laced are the biggest ones that I've found.
Wow.
Then I'm a huge death metal guy, so that's all my death metal vinyl collection.
Not video games.
Yeah,
but
very unrelated video games over there. But yeah, over here we have my. This is like my cream of the crop selection of my statues, a little better quality than the ones over there.
Okay.
This is Silent Hill 2.
Not collector's edition statues. These are like
these are unfortunately. The rest of them are like you had to buy them separately, but. Up here, this is the Comic-Con Silent Hill 2 Bubblehead Nurse, which is like one of the rarer variants of that. Mercy, cool. Obviously, from Overwatch. Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2. And I have my like Resident Evil 4 shrine here that I used to summon the remake of Resident Evil 4 with all the new era characters. Yeah, I did pull it off. I even have apparently this is rare too. I saw this on eBay for like $10 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's from the GameCube release. Now that's like an $80.
Was it like just you wore it at GameStop or whatever? Like, ask me about Resident Evil 4 kind of thing?
I mean, probably. It has the release date on it, so it probably was something that the store members wore. Down here...
you have the chainsaw controller. You can't not show off the chainsaw controller.
If you're a Resident Evil fan... Resident Evil 4 fan especially, you have to have one of these. For some reason it didn't work when I tried it. Like something was wrong. I got it on eBay, like most of my collection, unfortunately. And I took it apart and I made it worse. So now I'll never open this again.
All right. What is your ticket for Resident Evil 7 there?
This was when the game was announced at E3 2016. They like gave out tickets so people could come try the VR mode of it, since PSVR was new at the time.
Yeah.
So I found someone who got a ticket and didn't use it. So I bought it off of them. So it still has like the tear off part that could get you in to try the game. I thought that was really cool.
Oh,
so
that's so cool. Yeah.
That. And got Nuka-Cola Quantums from Fallout 4 when that came out. This is a PlayStation like store exclusive Bloodborne statue. I wanted the ones from Gecko, but those are like $700 now. So another one I'll never add to the collection. Then Dark Souls 3. Like I said, everyone probably thinks I love BioShock Infinite because I have so much of that, but I was very excited in 2013 for BioShock Infinite, which didn't fully meet my hopes and dreams, but it is still good. Down here. This is actually part of the what?
Yeah, you were about to explain it. Yeah, the house, the collector's edition.
This is the rarest collector's edition item that I own. Is the Resident Evil 7 house. For some reason, it's like a $700 collector's edition now, and I won't play it because it'd be really loud. But if you spin that wheel there and turn that on, it plays the Go Tell Aunt Rhody theme from Resident Evil 7 and lights up, and there's someone in that window. It's so cool.
If I recall correctly, this version of the collector's edition did not actually come with a copy of the game. Is that right?
It did. I know some that have done that. I know for some, I don't know why of all games this comes to my mind, but Wolfenstein: The New Order did that, where if you bought the collector's edition, it didn't come with the game. But Resident Evil has always done that. They wouldn't do that to us.
Okay. Well, and they've got the candle too from the 4D experience. If you're playing in VR, you have to light this candle and smell the blood in the.
Yeah, it's I was walking around the room earlier and I smelled this. It is unbelievable how bad that is. Like it made me gag when I smelled that candle. So it definitely has kept its scent. Even though I'm a huge horror fan, I still have Breath of the Wild like everybody else does. So I got the two.
How can you not?
Yeah, I got the two statues. I think from, I don't know if they were Best Buy exclusive or what, but then down here, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan as well. These are all the premium packages that were all Japan exclusive, and then I don't know if there was a premium package for Metal Gear Solid 4 or not. I don't think so, but I might be wrong. They all come with like wildly different stuff. Like this one comes with a shirt. This is Metal Gear Solid 1. 2, I don't remember. This one comes with like a car or something. It's crazy. Like I just love the boxes of these. Like I just opened them and made sure they were complete, and I'm like, never gonna touch them again. So leave them on the shelf.
Those are good looking boxes. So what are your goals at this point with your collection? Because you've got, I mean, I think you said you have like over 800 games. You've got a lot of stuff. You got a lot of cool statues. What's next? What's left?
Well, I think at this point I would need to find a different genre to care about because like I said, I've kind of capped out on a lot of stuff with horror. So it's like, I can't, I have bills to pay and stuff now. So it's like, I can't just go buy Kuon anymore. So I think at this point, my goal for a while was to fill out the shelves. It is filled out when all this stuff is on here.
Right.
Except for the Series X and PS5, because those are still actively being purchased for. So right now, a big goal was finishing this room out to make like a cool game room. So I'm like pretty satisfied right now, honestly.
That's a really
which
good
no collector
place
should
to
ever be.
No,
I'm glad I'm
disagree. There. That's kind of where I'm at with my collection too, and it's a very good place to be.
Let's see.
So that's awesome.
I got my launch Xbox 360 sign from.
Cool.
I think it was at like a Best Buy or something, because this is the original 360, not like the Elite and stuff like that. So I was happy to find that on
the
eBay.
bad one.
Yeah, the one. I've had at least 2 of those die on me.
Well, we don't even sell them in my game stores because I can't, even if they come in working, I'm like, I just can't guarantee this is going to keep working. So we just don't sell them at all.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't even have a 360. Well, I don't need one, but I don't have a 360 hooked up down here because everyone I've had has had issues. I got my Gears of War Lancers wall mounted, which I had to find like actual rifle mounts to get these on the wall to stay. And when I was looking for a mount for these, when I was on Amazon, someone posted a picture of this Lancer wall mounted with these, and I'm like, then that's the one I'm going to use because I do not want to risk these falling off.
You know it's going to work, yeah.
This is the Gears of War 2 one that was an Amazon exclusive that you had to pre-order the limited edition of Gears of War 2, and then this is the Gears of War 4 one. Even though this one's a lot cooler, this one's way more rare, because they did a really small run of those. So that's like the sought after one.
Cool.
This is from my wedding.
Cool.
This is a 1 of 1.
I love it.
Well,
cool.
Then
Is there
rarest
anything else
thing
you wanna? Oh, the rarest thing you own. Okay, I want to see that.
Is this Spyro bobblehead.
Okay.
Because you had to buy Spyro Enter the Dragonfly from Toys R Us, like on the release date. I can find barely any information about this bobblehead online, but it's like $900 in like insanely bad shape. Like I've seen ones with the wings gone and like the horns gone for like $700 on eBay. So I'm like,
that's crazy. There was a like brief period where bobbleheads were a pre-order bonus for a little while. There was like a Star Fox one, I think from Fry's Electronics, and a Donkey Kong one from Target, if I remember correctly. I mean, it was a weird, I don't know. We decided bobbleheads were cool for a brief period in time.
For a moment in time, yeah. Oh, and I got this from, I think I wrote a review for MinMax a few weeks ago.
Cool.
I got that sent
And you
to
want
me.
a board
So
game. Yeah, that's
So-
perfect.
thank you for that.
Cool.
But yeah. So,
Well,
and if anyone wants a board game recommendation, Nemesis is the best game I can recommend. It's
awesome. I don't know anything about board games, but I'm sure I know it's big in this community. So this is definitely a cool collection. Well, thank you so much, Ben. Thanks for joining us on the show, for showing off all your cool horror stuff, for showing off your collection. Thank you everybody so much for watching, for joining us on another Collector's Corner episode, and hope to see you next time.
thank you for having me.
If you thought, hey, this video wasn't bad, well, there's a whole lot more like it on MinMax's YouTube channel. Please help us out by subscribing to our channel and checking out the MinMax Show podcast, also available on your favorite podcast app, the best, most thorough discussion about games on the internet with the deepest dive, our monthly community trivia show with prizes called Trivia Tower, and a whole lot more. Thanks so much for your support, everybody. All you gotta do is click that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it.